buenas noches a todos. Ajá. Les queremos dar la bienvenida. We want to really welcome each and every one of you to the 50th anniversary program of AAWA. We are absolutely delighted that you have chosen to join with us on this very celebratory occasion. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the woman who has been behind the leading AAWA from the past and into the future. It is absolutely exciting to have her leadership, her commitment, her dedication. She has literally touched every aspect of this program. So what you see that is good and great, please know that this woman beside me to my left is the cause of it. Anything that you see that is not good and great, look to the person to your left or right. They're the cause of it. Right, they're the cause of it. So, without any further ado, I'm going to ask Jackie Kakembo, who is the president of AAWA, to come forward and to give us a warm welcome on behalf of AAWA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Merci, ma soeur. I got some friends in the house, I think. Well, this is just one big family. I mean, just look around, and I'm glad that I'm someplace in the middle. I'm not the one you'll come to if it was all good. I'm not the one you'll look at if it's bad. I'll be somewhere in the middle, just trying to fix it up one way or the other. And I think those of you here who know me and have known me forever can attest to that. I want to welcome all of you, our friends from Cuba, our friends from Angola, from Liberia, from Nigeria, from Snowden Overlook, right from my neighborhood, from Uganda, or right around the corner. There are so many of you here, and it is truly, truly a blessing. Without you, we would not have a celebration. So I want to say thank you so much for coming. First of all, I want to welcome and express a very sincere, I don't even know how to say it, I'm just getting so touched because this person has been so amazing to us. But that is His Excellency Ambassador Mauricio Latolo Sandino Montes. Okay. You know, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful.
Can you say it again?
You didn't hear me back there. Okay, see me after the show. But I'm telling you, he has been so amazing. And, you know, this is the name. And I'm thinking, okay. And I got so confused because sometimes I'm calling him Mauricio. Sometimes I'm saying Lautaro, Montes, Sandino. You know, I just was out of it. One day, I said to him, goodbye, my brother. Right. Denise, where is Tommy?
Tommy somewhere.
Tommy. Well, we'll see Tommy because Tommy is the friend. There's Tommy. Tommy, can we see you for a minute? We want to say thank you to Tommy because Tommy introduced us. Okay. Because Tommy introduced us to this amazing brother of ours. In addition to him, of course, we have distinguished guests among us from various countries, a few of which I have already mentioned, but I guess we were so busy having fun and laughing we didn't really listen to which countries all of our guests came from. But we do have several distinguished guests with us, and as the evening goes on, I hope you'll take the time to meet some of them. We have our members of AAWA, we have family, and we have friends. This is truly a family, friends, and guests, distinguished ambassadors and guests. And it is truly with considerable pride and humility that I greet you. as president of the African and American Women's Association on the important occasion of our 50th anniversary. At different phases of our history, the members and the organization has faced numerous challenges to keep the organization alive, thriving, and growing. But here we are. Here we are. We made it. We made it to 50. And while other people are talking about their joy, this is our joy. Yes. And we're claiming it. This is our joy. The vision still beckons and calls for action even today. Am I right, Pauline? Oh, yeah. So our activities have been diverse and many. The countries that we have had the privilege of serving in or supporting various projects have also been numerous and many, which we are very proud of. And that goes from providing microcredit to various organizations, helping women and supporting women on farming projects, helping and supplying medical kits and emergency efforts provided for, libraries and librarian training, language training, as well as undergraduate scholarships to Africa and in the United States. One of the items that we have been most proud of, we have been able to consecutively in the past 3 years to sponsor a food distribution program, providing over 600 families during the entire month of Ramadan with food provisions. And I'll just list a few of the countries that we served in, which include Niger, Kenya, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, Swaziland, Tanzania, Ghana, and Nigeria. So I have served and continue to serve up to this point with immense pride because of those accomplishments. And I am comforted knowing that AAWA has dedicated members, supportive families, and friends who can be counted on as we move forward. Your presence here tonight has delighted and strengthened our resolve to continue with meaningful work that lies ahead in the future. On behalf of the African and American Women's Association, I thank the Embassy of Nicaragua and especially His Excellency Ambassador Mauricio Lautaro Sandino Montes for graciously and gracefully hosting us for tonight. Thank you for being here. And now in the program, I think I have to look and see what is the next item in the program. All right, we are going to have a greeting from this wonderful gentleman that I have spoken about. My brother, please.
Thank you so much. It is a privilege for me to send the warmest greetings from President Daniel Ortega and Vice President Rosario Murillo here. I informed her that we are going to have this meeting here. So, and she was really, and President Ortega and Vice President Rosario Murillo, they were pleased that I hosted you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
See, in this very day, 30 years ago, the National Assembly of Nicaragua declared the autonomy law for the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua that gave the Afro-American and indigenous people of my country the right for their land, for their food, to organize a government that the way they want. So, when my sister exactly asked me, to organize a meeting here, I immediately so I will take advantage that you are in my house. That is your house as well. So I want to invite you to make another bridge. Make a bridge for friendship between American and African, Nicaraguan, Cuban. So you're going to be making a wonderful job all this time. And I really want to thank you, all of you, for your work, for your solidarity. At this time, I want to take a minute to think about our brothers and sisters in Palestine and the suffering. Something that we have to say. There has been a genocide. Sorry, it's a genocide. And I think, when I think about that, I remember the Spanish came to Latin America in 1492. They come and they kill the indigenous and they make another genocide. And you know what? When they run out of labor force, they decided to bring slaves from Africa to us. That's a reality. I am not lying, I am telling the truth.
Right, tell the truth.
And I believe that it is important for your organization to continue of making this wonderful work that you have been doing. Bringing understanding, friendship, and caring among people. That is the most important thing. So, after this, I would love to continue talking and tell you stories and so on. I will do it. I will do it. See, just a few words about this house. Okay? This house, it is directed from the west to the east. Okay? Nicaragua is over there. Okay? But then what happened is that in Nicaragua, we can say that we have kind of different zones, okay? So in the west, so where you are going to have the food prepared for you, we call it the Rubén Darío room. Okay, Rubén Darío is the greatest poet that we have in Nicaragua. Stop there. He brought modernism into the Spanish, okay? Then if we move a little bit to the middle, then we have a great person, a national hero. His name is Augusto César Sandino. He fought the Marines of the United States back in 1928. And he was able to defeat for the first time the Army of the United States. So that the other room where the piano is dedicated to Sandino. Then this room, we call it Huehuense room. The Huehuense is UNESCO intangible heritage of humanity. Okay, it's about a Nicaraguan guy, smart guy, that managed to make fun of the Spanish conquistador, and there is a play. So this room is devoted to our intangible heritage of humanity, Huehuense. And then in the west, over there, you will have our Caribbean room, devoted to the people of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you come here to this place, to this your house, okay, please remember that. That Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? There is a play. So when you come here to this place, to this your house, okay, please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please remember that Nicaragua is a multicultural society. Okay? Please rem in which white mestizos, Afro-American, Afro-descendants, and also indigenous people that made the Nicaraguanity. Okay? That is something that Rubén Darío gave us back. So, you're welcome here. So, we want to break some rules here, okay? So, you have time to come in and you decide when you want to go out. So there is no limit of time. Enjoy yourself and thank you for being here.
Mr. Ambassador, we truly want to thank you. Thank you for giving us such a warm welcome into your embassy and for giving us a history lesson as well. And all that in just a few short minutes. So we know that there's Rubén Darío's room and place of honor here at the embassy, and we thank you. Augusto Cesar Sandino's room and recognition. We have the UNESCO room of Heritage and Humanities. Just sit with that. It's absolutely wonderful that we have that sense of humanity and heritage. And then we have the Caribbean room. So isn't that wonderful? So we have just touched on so many different places in such a marvelous way. And we thank you for giving us that brief and very large overview. So in appreciation. Well, now let's continue with our program. I'm going to ask Dr. Denise Wright to come forward. I want to recognize her as one of the co-chairs for this program, and she is going to have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker. So please welcome Dr. Denise Wright.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How are you? All of you look totally fabulous. Totally. Including you, Henry. Again, my name is Denise Wright. I'm a member of AAWA, and again, I want to thank Thomas Blanton as well as Marcia for coming tonight. Thank you so much. So it's good to see all of you here. My job today is to introduce my dear friend Sharon Farmer. I did not read the bio. Because Sharon and I go back almost 40 years.
Oh no.
Yeah. I had no idea I was in. I had no idea I'd been in DC that long until I figured out knowing Sharon. Okay, so let me tell. So I'm gonna tell you the short. It's gonna be short. I was dating someone for a long time, and that, we could talk about that later. So anyway, so we happened to go to the White House. So we would go to the White House, now naturally just back in the 90s and stuff, when I was all of that. I was a young thing back then. So it was in the early 90s, and we go to the White House, and so what happens is, everybody lines up to go through, during Christmas time to see the president. Everybody takes a picture. So, Gregory and I, we line up, and we're walking through, and you walk through this little tunnel thing like you're gonna go see the wizard and all this other kind of stuff. And so we finally get in, and we get through the little tunnel and stuff, and then I'm standing there, and Clinton looks like a tree in the forest, and I'm looking at him, and then I just type of glanced over, and there was Sharon. I said, "Girl, what you doing here?" She said, "Girl, what you doing?" And we got to yipping and yapping and carrying on and stuff, and my boyfriend sitting there like this. I didn't even notice the Clinton and the rest of them. We were just talking, I don't even remember what we were talking about. But we were going back and forth, yipping and yapping and laughing and everything, holding up the line and stuff. And my boyfriend got really, really mad. He said, "Here we are trying to see the leader of the free world. You should have been cutting it up with one of your buddies." So that was very, very interesting. So that was one highlight. So there were other highlights back in the day, but I will not review those. But anyway, I wanted to thank Sharon and asked her to come here this evening because it's really, really important to recognize these kind of unspoken contributions that we of African and African descent contribute to society. And I think a lot of the contributions that Sharon has made have, even though she's got notoriety and stuff, a lot of contributions have been quiet and unspoken. And I really, really wanted her to share this evening some of her images, some of her perspectives, and I find them very valuable. She has traveled all over the world and done a lot of different things, like many of you in this room who have broken barriers, who have traveled all over the world and did your work quietly and effectively. So, yes.
It's called stealth.
Well, it's called stealth, okay. So, without further ado, I want to introduce to you Miss Sharon Farmer. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for taking the time to spend a night like tonight. Night out, hanging out, night out, going to the movies. But actually get together for wonderful, good reasons. The deal is that as much as we like to think we're still in charge of this country, we're not. So let's start where it's honest at. We still have so much work to do because people keep reneging on what they're supposed to be getting done. So, I'm a voice, like some other friends of mine, who always are telling the United States government, y'all ain't got it together yet. And then they look at me going, that's just Sharon talking again. But I have to talk because nobody is safe when things don't get done that need to get done. So if you will swing on. But the fun of all of it is, I'm from Washington, D.C. Okay. Years later, my cousin falls in love with a wonderful Nigerian, and they get married. And I say, all right, intercontinental. And I thought it was very cool, and it turned out to be so. The guy she married was a wonderful man from Nigeria. They have 3 kids who are my second cousins. Do I not love them madly? Oh, yes. Do I try to indoctrinate them the way I see things? Hell yeah, I'm older. I'm older. When you're older, you want to tell people stuff.
It's okay. It's all right. You want to hear it.
It all works out. So the more times we spend with people we don't know, the better world we make. And that's so important. So go for the first one, y'all.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm trying, yeah, we need to bring it down some.
In order to figure out what you want to be when you're still like a freshman at Ohio State University, it's kind of huge. Because I've never been to a school so large in my life. I thought going to Anacostia High School over in Southeast D.C. was more than enough for me. Because we had lots of students who were good at what they did. And those were the folks I admired. If you ran track, hey, I'm going to run some track. You got a chess club, I'm going to beat everybody. I'm ready. And the other deal is the more friends you make at high school, you can carry them with you through the end of high school, through college, and thank heavens for Facebook. Hello, am I not in touch with everybody? If you're my friend once, you're my friend every time I see you, okay? And I'm not forgetting you. I know your name too. So I look forward to tomorrow night when we have our 55th anniversary of having graduated together from Anacostia High School. Wow! And to come here and see you, y'all are so close to my heart, you have no idea. Every time President Clinton had to go meet with people about Africa, I'm taking that job, I'm going right now. And it's like, well, they told me, no, I'm going, you stay right where you are. And I'd run around to where it was going on, I meet more wonderful people. The year that Clinton took his trip around Africa, he was inspired because Mrs. Clinton went first. And I got to go with her. Hello. We left no stone unturned, okay? Because women know how to see everything. Even when they don't want you to see. And it all works out. You make new friends. You meet somebody who's important because he's Nelson Mandela, and we're going where to Robben Island? Oh my God. I marched around the South African embassy for years with Sweet Honey in the Rock and everybody else because things had to be done. And if we weren't there to be getting them done, then who was going to do them? We waiting on somebody. We are not waiting on anybody. So because we kept doing that stuff, there came a time where they had to let him out. We cheering, singing, and all the people who went to jail for Mandela around D.C., bless you, this did not happen by itself. It happened because people took a stance and made sure that things are going to be better than they had been. It doesn't get better than this when you can affect change. And the people marching in D.C. affected change. People marching in Detroit affected change. New York, I don't care where you're from, you made a difference because you said, we're not keeping up with this madness you guys got going, so we're going to do better. And how do we do better? We do better by what we do. So when I was in school at Ohio State, we had a black student newspaper called Our Choking Times. Because in the 70s, that's what it was. The FBI and their people even broke into my apartment thinking I was in league with the Republic of New Africa in Dayton. Look, all they did was come guard Angela Davis. She was our first stop when she got out of jail, okay? And Michael White at the time was the president of the body of the students. Let's see, how we change that one?
Go back, go next.
I don't have a
Okay.
thing.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see. How does this go? Uh-oh. I'm trying to stop it. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
That's the
Is that
people
it?
on the student newspaper of Our Choking Times. Keep going, just roll on.
Okay, hold on.
Roll on, we don't want nobody to fall asleep. Roll on. Okay. This is a march around for black student education at Ohio State. When I got to Ohio State, there were less than 2,500 black students on campus out of 40,000. Okay, that's some serious stuff. And you always have to remember to talk to everybody as nice as you can because you don't want to scare nobody and run them away, okay? Because what we're talking about is freedom of expression for everybody, not just for a small group of people. Next one. This is the guy to help us get our stuff together. You always need an elder who knows more than the rest of us. And this is Charles Williams, who was assistant dean of students. He was so cool. He was the patron saint of most of the black organizations on campus. Because of him, we learned how to negotiate with the administration. Next. Michael White and Matt were the first iterational gang of leadership for the student government stuff. And Michael on the left and Matt on the right were a strong force. Meanwhile, I'm running the black student newspaper, Our Choking Times. And we all agree that we're about the same stuff, and then we make steps to make it happen. Next, please. To keep the coalition going, they talked me into running for office the next election. And I'm like, I got enough stuff to do. I got enough more to do. But did you see I was a young thing? Yes, I was. Am I a young thing now? Oh no, I'm pushing towards 70, more than 70. Oh my God. But the deal is, if you don't act on something, everybody else ignores what you want acted on. So I learned how to be talking about stuff. They wanted $20,000 for an hour of Elvis Presley at St. John's Arena. And I said, I want $10,000 for Black History Month in the cafeteria. So everybody, black and white, and we can all enjoy our food. And they fought me. And I'm like, I'm not signing your check for $20,000 for an hour with Elvis Presley if you won't sign my $10,000 check for my black student activities for a whole month. So you tell me how that figures. I fought him. So I went to the student office up there in the union, and I started doing my homework, and I said, well, if they don't come, I'll just take this check on back. Just as I began to pack my books up, here comes a bunch of them around the corner talking about, we have your check, we have your check. Is it signed was all I asked.
Okay, right.
I have to sign it because I'm the vice president, and the treasurer of the student union, they gotta sign it too. So if you don't sign mine, I ain't signing yours.
Well. Go ahead.
Me and Sergeant, Dennis Sargent was a real farmer. I'm a farmer by breed, by family, but we're called farmers. Farmer, come over here. Farmer, over this way. Because when they yell farmer, they ain't talking to nobody but you. It was really cool to finally see Michael again after all those years. He had graduated from Ohio State. Now he's mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm there because I'm with the President of the United States. Michael's like, no, you're not here with him. Oh, look at here. I found more than precious people. I did not know Sweet Honey in the Rock. I managed a camera store down in Lafayette Plaza called Snapshots. And Bernice used to come down here and get her film processed. So, yeah, Bernie's ready. And this is the second album cover that I did. Their first album cover was a lot of motion. As Bernice said, stuff is not clear on this album. And I'm like, not sharp maybe? Right, it's not sharp. Okay, I want the next album to be sharp, 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 and everybody prominently featured. Got you. When you hear Bernice's little voice, and she's about that tall telling you what she wants, you're going to get it done. Okay? Because there's a scary part that says, short people know how to kill your ass. So you gotta suffer through that. I said, whatever you say. So one of my friends who was also a customer that came into my camera store, Sharon, you know they're looking for another photographer? I don't know nothing about that. Sharon, you need to make sure you put your hat in the ring. Why? They need a photographer they can deal with. Who's that? It's you! What's wrong with you? Okay. So I go meet them on a Friday night, Bernice and the other members of the group, and by the time I get through showing my portfolio, Bernice is asking the question, why aren't you working for yourself? Light bulb goes off. In less than 3 months, I quit that job. By then, my bonus had come in for $10,000, so I knew no matter what, I was going to try to get my business off the ground. So, my mom and dad, I love them madly. I always go for dinner at the house in Southeast and Benning Heights at least twice, 3 times a week. I would even go every day. But, you know, you don't want to wear it, you want to match your So, we're sitting having dinner, and my mother says, look at here, I called the camera store yesterday and they said you were gone. I'm like, oh? That's all they said? They said you've been gone. Oh. And then my father says, let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to pay for your, I guess your health insurance. What else, Winnie? And we're going to pay for your, you got bills, Sharon? Yes, sir. We're going to pay for them bills too. Okay. And then my father said, we're going to see how you do. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. If it does work out, that's really good. Don't you think so? I'm like, yeah. Really good. So things worked out. One photo job does lead to another photo job. And because of all that stuff, I stayed busy. Next, yep. So you get to shoot a little bit of everything, including Bernice, who just passed away recently. And when she says, why aren't you working for yourself? You know I was trying to get out that camera store. I'm ready to leave that camera store. The fun thing about the camera store was Pat Harris was secretary of the HUD at the time. And one of her photographers had nothing but streaking lightning bolts going across his film because he wound it too fast and created static electricity. He's busy telling everybody, it's her fault. I tell you that. Wait till I show you what I do. So he keeps talking stuff. His boss comes over. He's a great guy. He says, tell me, he ran the film too fast back into the camera and created static. How'd you know? I've done it before, Sharon. Will you please tell your guy that's what happened and it's not my fault? Well, if he wants it to be my fault, tell him I'll meet him outside later. Okay? Because some things that are the truth, people can't deal with it. It's okay. Next.
Oh, next.
Next.
Oh my goodness. Next. Hold on.
So as Sweet Honey in the Rock grew, so did I. Which means I have by now a place to shoot studio work in, and I get them to come wherever I am, and I set the lights up. I get there 3 hours before they do. So I can do tests and make sure that where the light's coming from makes sense.
This is horrible. Sorry, Sharon, I'm not a techie.
It's okay, it's more fun like that.
I love that picture, by the way.
Yeah, that's a beautiful picture.
Yes.
Oh, this is another studio. We're having more because we're getting ready to do another album. That's the fun stuff. Oh, this is at the Black College up in Maryland. And this guy and his
Morgan Coppin, the Black Island, which one? Bowie?
Morgan, it's Morgan. And the Morgan guy, the Morgan conductor was noted for being a bad dude when he directed choirs. And Bernice had invited him to come to her program in Black American Culture at the Smithsonian. What a day, what a song fest. Found myself humming along, singing along, I know these songs, yes indeed.
That's Brenda and
Oh, yes.
Chris and
I started taking pictures for everybody.
Brenda Sam.
So this is the four of us.
Oh, no.
Where's your Brenda Files, Tom Miner, Tom Lucas, and Christopher Prince. Chris is still working.
Yeah.
Brenda's working down in Atlanta, where she's from. And the other two guys, the Toms, unfortunately they passed away due to AIDS. And when AIDS hit our community, we're like, what is this? And so we learned how to negotiate the folks who had AIDS, the folks who were denying them treatment because of AIDS. Man, you gotta be kidding. Come on now, y'all. We're all human beings on this planet. Next, please. I learned how to take a picture anywhere. I didn't care how dark it was. If it signified something to me about a lady walking by herself, as the guys on the other side are all walking together and talking, I'm like, how can y'all do it like that? Everybody needs to be included. Next.
Yes.
You know, you never know what you're going to end up shooting. The good grace about all of this is that we did a project called Songs of My People, and we were all black photographers who were lamenting the fact that somebody else had done I Dream a World. And it was all black women, but that was our inspiration to look, we tired of you guys keep trying to do our stuff, we can do our own stuff. So we got together, thanks to a young man from Toledo, who says, we got to get together and figure out how we going to do a book. So we met over at a pub, not far from the Washington Post that I was freelancing at the time. And everybody's a staff photographer, but me. But I'm there because you got common sense, Sharon, you know what to do. Okay. That's all I had to hear. Next. This is Beatrice Ferguson. When I met her, she told me she was like, what, 87 years old? We found out later she's in her 90s. So she was tough stuff, and she's like, I would ride my bicycle for you, but I fell a couple of weeks ago and I'm not cured yet. Really? And I'm watching her working on the hula hoop. I'm like, what's the difference between a bicycle and a hula hoop? Not much. DC is a friendly neighborhood town. This guy was a big, huge deacon at his church at St. Stephen's. He passed away suddenly. And so they walked his casket from down at Irving and Georgia Avenue, where there used to be a funeral home, and then walked it to St. Stephen's Church up in Northwest. So the people who do, what do you say, you on a corner playing for money, they came and led the march for the guy's casket. I'll never forget. And the guy's name was George Moore. He was very instrumental in our communities. Those folk have to be continued to be honored. To me, he's a saint. I know we don't take what we call people lightly. I call him a saint because of all the good things he got done at St. Stephen's. And I'm not of that religion. I'm of any religion that gets stuff done. This is Miss Bad Sybil Moses, who was a Grey Panther along with Claude Pepper from Florida. They raised Cain about what wasn't happening for the seniors. So I went over to the Roosevelt home, because she's also a Delta, to go visit. And while we're visiting, I'm like, oh, I see a picture. He's down in the bed, getting the camera out. And I say, so Laura, do you mind if I take your picture while we're up here talking? Oh, no, child. Make sure I'm preserved, okay? So that's Laura. So this is one of the greatest pictures I've ever taken in my career. She was bad. The more I found out about her, I'm like, I ain't got no time to be silly no more. Silliness is over. And to go work for him, look, this is the last job I was looking for. I always believed the government wasn't right, they were running it ain't right, and the things that could be done were being done, not even being done because some people didn't want to do them. And you're like, this is not correct. However, I ain't never met nobody from Arkansas before. So he had lots of leeway as I figured out. He ain't bad, he's pretty cool. He be laughing about stuff we laughing about. Boy, okay. We did all kind of things, from going to see the people graduating from the Naval Academy and throw their hats up in the air. There's always a flyover. And everybody has a contest about who's going to get the best flower. I know I won it. Next. He also talked to the military all the time. Shook hands, we be still late. Mrs. Clinton finishes her line, we still at it. This is the daughter of the wonderful family. The father got dragged to death down in Texas. They pulled him so hard out of that he got killed. And the daughter could not meet with anybody in the Texas legislature or even George Bush Jr., I guess it was, who was governor at the time. So how do you dare not pay attention to people who get murdered and the way they got murdered? Everybody goes around the world. Come on. Next. This is Mother Teresa's funeral in India that I went to with Mrs. Clinton. And I'm lucky enough that I can go to a site, not have been there before, and I'm looking for the angle I need to get what I want that tells a picture. Can I do it in one shot? Yeah, I did, because I know time is premium, and somebody else would love to have my spot now to see where I am. So let me not tarry. So I got the shot and kept on moving. Look, when black people dress up in kente cloth, you know that's solid. When white people dress up in kente cloth, you're like, what's up? But to see them do that, put it on, be proud about it, I'm like, oh, I can go ahead with that. No, yes, I can. And the other thing was, because of the way we travel, we lean, but we also got what we need. This is in D.C. The Chinese people came to visit us, the president and his wife. Each person has their own translator. Because honestly, you can only listen to one thing at a time to be able to roll it back. So you can't listen to the other conversation that has nothing to do with you and your principal. You have to deal with what you're hearing and say that to your person. And you ignore everything else around you. I don't know how you do it. But I had fun doing it. Look at here, censorship in our lives. Next. Can affect what we do. Next. Can affect what we see. Next. If we think that no one is listening, and that no one cares, we turn to other forms of salvation so that if we die a noble death, we will not be forgotten. And hope, we can find solace.
Yes.
Be it with one, or with two, or with the crowd. As we listen to each other, we must march. Marching can't stop. Marching can't stop at all. We must act, we must vote, so that we must just stand, keep going, keep on through it. Stand for something. Stand for something. Stand for something. And a young photographer is going to be another one of me. Okay?
Thank you so much. I mean, wow, so many beautiful pictures. And the sharing of all the stories, so appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Wow, what a rich life she's lived, right?
I ain't finished.
Yes, it's the wealthy part that comes next. It's the other part is this rich. So thank you. I'm going to hand the microphone to Pauline Johnson, Esquire, and she is going to introduce Dorothy. You don't have to stand up if you want to.
You know how to make it for a whole. No, I don't. Here, I will just help her. This starts slideshows, and then you start getting.
Only for AAWA would I try to follow that. I'm Pauline Johnson, longtime life member of AAWA, and I'm very happy to see all of you here tonight. Some of them I remember from many, many years ago, and some I met tonight, and I'm happy about all of that, and that all of you have come. My pleasure is to introduce our honorary guest speaker, who is Dorothy Davis. And I guess I met Dorothy and her brother at a showing in New York of The Wiz. You know how long ago that was? And I'm delighted to introduce her to you, who will be bringing her program. Dorothy is a pioneer, social entrepreneur. And I met her again, I guess a few years ago when she had moved back into this area. She was born in Liberia of U.S. Foreign Service parents, and her father and I worked together at USAID, which is, he was a photographer at USAID. And her bio is in here a little, I won't read it all, but I'm happy to present to you for her presentation, Dorothy M. Davis. Thank you.
Sharon is a hard act.
Go for it, go for it.
And also, I've been wanting to be here forever. This works really well. I wanted to thank the African American Women's Association for inviting me. I've known Parker since birth. Our parents were good friends, and they served in Liberia together, and we've just been friends ever since. So anyway, that's the background. I'm going to go forward. I think what I'm doing is I represent my dad's photography. My dad, Griff Davis, was a pioneer photographer, journalist, and U.S. Foreign Service officer during the beginning of the independence movement in Africa and simultaneously the U.S. Civil Rights movement. But tonight I'm just focusing on Africa.
Yeah.
He was also the first roving editor for Forever, and so you'll see things. The good news is that he documented a lot of. Where are we now?
No, go ahead. Don't worry. We'll have to take this out.
Okay. Oh, I can see it over here.
This is not her.
Okay. So he basically was in unique spots of history, which I didn't necessarily appreciate till after he passed away, and I found all this information. Because he was a photographer, journalist, and Foreign Service officer, there's probably equal amounts of what I call paper and photography. I have had some exhibitions of his work at the Schomburg. That is with Langston Hughes. He was good friends with Langston Hughes. So he was born in Atlanta on Morehouse's campus, raised on Spelman's campus. He went on to
Go to the next slide.
he met Langston Hughes when he was
Go to the next
in his last semester of senior year at Morehouse. He took one of his classes, creative writing class, and that relationship stayed for the next 20 years until Langston Hughes died. Oh, I think we're about right, yeah? Okay, so that's my dad. So I thought I should tell you what he looks like. So that's my dad, the one to the right. To the right. You can keep going. I thought I would start with Ambassador Edward R. Dudley. because he was the first African-American ambassador ever. And he was stationed in Liberia. And my dad served under him, so did Parker's father, served under him starting in November 1952. So this photograph is included in the American Diplomat documentary that was done on PBS. All the photographs that have to do with the story about Edward R. Dudley are all my dad's photos. So I just wanted to start there. Okay, keep going. Okay, so he wrote a story about Dudley and Ebony. You can keep going. Just keep going. This is a story. This is so you see how Ebony essentially was the interpreter of Black culture, but Black culture in Africa and Black culture anywhere else in the U.S. and anywhere else. So I'm starting with Liberia. So this is Liberia. Okay, keep going. Yes, we can do the family photo. I figure well, let's start with that. So keep going. This is President Tubman and Mrs. Tubman, or First Lady Antoinette Tubman, at their reception, Inauguration Day reception. You will see a woman here. This woman? Mm-hmm. That woman is Etta Moulton Barnett. She was the first Bess of Porgy and Bess. And her husband was Claude. I forgot Claude's last name, but anyway, they lived in Chicago, and he was head of the National Negro Publishers Association. Mary McLeod Bethune went to the inauguration, so there you go. This photo is won second prize for the USAID 50th anniversary, as you see. I just thought I would throw different things in. So this is an iron ore worker working on the port. This is my dad using photography to basically explain to the State Department that they needed to send money so that waterfall could be converted into electricity for the village underneath or below. These are just rapid photos that he took. These are all Liberians. You can just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now we're at Kwame Nkrumah. So Kwame Nkrumah was invited to come to Liberia by President Tubman in January 1953, 4 years before Ghana's independence, so that's why I'm Gold Coast. My dad was asked to meet him and bring him from Accra to Monrovia on Tubman's ship. And so he took all these photographs of Nkrumah on the ship. So that was a contact sheet, just one contact sheet. And then this was the purpose of the meeting. It was a very historical meeting, and there's a whole 5 pages of that story. This is the official photograph that was taken in Liberia. My dad was commissioned by Tubman to do that. This is actually my dad's photo on the cover of Time magazine. Because the story of him Nkrumah coming to Liberia is in that magazine, and so that's the cover. Okay, so now we're this is actually independence. Okay, so this is Ghana's independence celebration. Okay, so there's Kwame Nkrumah, now president. That's his first cabinet. This is him kind of playing around with the reporters. Sorry. This is Ralph Bunche talking to Kwame Nkrumah at the independence. And this is the first meeting of Vice President Nixon and Martin Luther King Jr. in Ghana at independence with their respective wives. It was banned by the U.S. government for decades because they were worried that it would cause some issues over here because of our civil rights issues. So for decades, that was not available. This is Ebony, obviously it's Ebony, but he was assigned by Ebony to go to Ethiopia to do a story on Selassie. He was there for 2 months. He had to wait through all these protocol measures in order to do it. That's one of the photographs. That's Selassie feeding his ducks at the palace. Okay, now we move to Tunisia. Okay, so Tunisia, we were there from 57 to 61. You can keep going. This is President Bourguiba greeting Dwight Eisenhower in Tunis in 1960. This is Bourguiba planting seeds. I just like the photo.
You like
This is development. All of this is development work, even though my dad's focused on information and communications and things like that. So part of his work was to train how to use cameras and to provide equipment. Here is an all-male audience watching a movie in Tunisia. This is, the difference in transportation. Keep going. And this is a Berber father with his child. And now we're in Gabon. So in Gabon, the only one I have in Gabon is Albert Schweitzer at his leper camp. Then we moved to Nigeria. Nigeria wasn't independent at this point. This was the beginning of the constitutional talks. He did a story on it. I'm still trying to find the story, but I found the photos. In any case, these are the British officers standing to the side of the Nigerian. This is just contrast in terms of authority. That's man with a jeweled headdress. Okay, keep going. That's it.
Dorothy, that was fabulous, and thank you so much for sharing. I felt like we just went around the world and back, and we got just so much history and such beautiful pictures as well. So
It was very important for us to share that with you this evening because we hope that you would get a sense of what our founding members, mothers, the founders of AAWA lived and experienced, and what prompted them to begin this organization.
great. So I've been popping up and down, and you've been seeing me up here, but I realized I didn't even introduce myself because I was so busy saying good evening, and buenas noches, and bonsoir à tout le monde. And so my name is Parker Mabry, and I was invited by Jackie to become the program chair for this program. And
She's the one on the left and on the right, remember, I'm in the middle.
Programs like this don't just happen. It really does take a team effort. And so before I continue any further in my acknowledgments, I would like to recognize all of the AAWA members that are here. So if you could just briefly stand or wave or, yeah, that's great. Yeah. Yes, the collaboration that we've had has been just really phenomenal, and we just so appreciate the spirit of teamwork that's been provided. We also want to take this time also to acknowledge once again our ambassador, Mauricio Lautaro Sandino de Montes. And I would like to just say we so appreciated him being here. and allowing us to be here. We want to also take a moment to recognize Shanice. Oh, here's the ambassador, so I just, let's introduce. So I was just thanking you, Mr. Ambassador, con muchísimas gracias para darnos la bienvenida aquí. Y bueno, en fin, no lo pudiéramos hacer sin usted. We wouldn't have been able to do this event really without the ambassador just being so forthcoming. And he spoke to something earlier that is very important to AAWA. And you might be asking, why, if we're African and American Women's Association, what are we doing in Nicaragua? And so it's exciting because one of the things that we really have been doing in the past, but we really are stretching into the future, is making crossing that bridge, like you mentioned. So thank you for bringing that forward. And we look forward to just many more opportunities of making collaborations. I know they're having in Cuba, they're doing something on, I'm not quite sure of the full title, but it's on diversity.
It's the Conference for the Afro-Descendant Decade.
Okay, she said the Conference for the African Descendants Decade. Doesn't that sound exciting? So you all, that's something for us all to think about, look forward to. I just wanted to give that as a little bit of a recognition to Cuba as well. So there's much work to be done. There's much collaboration that we can have. I also would like, in my acknowledgments, I want to acknowledge Universal Printing for the printing of the programs and the brochures. They were just excellent, and they did the turnaround so quickly, and were very supportive of us as an organization. So I did just want to recognize them. So if any of you ever need printing for your church, for your community, just consider the possibilities of using them. We have a young lady who's not here, who really is part of the Jackie Parker trio, and her name is Shanice. Last name? Scott, sorry, and I know that so well from all those emails. Yes, so Shanice Scott is not here, but my, oh my, I am just so proud of her for the work that she has done. She is a young woman that, yes, she's been with us since she was 3, and what's really not working with us, but Jackie's throwing me off. So, yes, I know, we're not doing child labor stuff here. But what I do want to say about her is that it's just really remarkable when someone is willing to give their time, their service, their dedication. Between Jackie and myself, we would be like, oh Shanice, we need to change this. Oh Shanice, we now need this. And each and every time she would be like, okay, by when? What do you need? I'll get it to you in another 2 hours. I'm like, oh, I don't really need it in 2 hours, but she would get it done. So, you know, it's really wonderful in this day and age when you can work with someone who's so committed, and to be doing this as a volunteer, I just really do want to honor her.
She honors her grandmother.
And she honors her, and with a smile, and she's honoring her grandmother's legacy, who was part of AAWA, and truly it's a tribute, but from my heart, it's just like absolutely wonderful to see that spirit. So now, yes, and there is a retractable banner downstairs with AAWA on it. It's sort of leaning on the wall, but you can take lovely pictures because it's not in the glow. So as you prepare to leave after the after party, don't hesitate to stand and take a picture and memorialize this occasion. I'll now turn it over to Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you, Parker. She has mentioned almost everyone. However, we had a lot going on behind the scenes, just outside of our trio. The ambassador made it very clear to us that in the fact that this was our home, this embassy has been functioning on a very minute staff. We have all pitched in. His wife, who we are truly proud of, and I hope you'll get to see her in one form or the other, has been in the, can I say it?
Yes.
She's been in the kitchen, cooking, his wife. Before you arrived, he was helping us carry the chairs. There was a lot going on behind the scenes. And I just need Lucy, because we have technicians. Which one? Okay, Evelyn. Lucy, I need to have Lucy come, because Lucy made sure that the technicians were here, because, you know, some of us just don't get it. So Lucy, I'm going to just hand this over to you so that you say about the technicians that are here who volunteered their time, and the pianist and your whole team.
Yes. A friend of mine is a piano technician, actually an officer in the Piano Technicians Guild. Steve Jones came and tuned the piano so that Warren Williams, the fantastic pianist that you heard, give him a round of applause for Warren Williams, who is the person who organizes educational programs at the Kennedy Center, so that the community outreach educational programs, and is a wonderful pianist. Also, I asked Gustavo Vargas, who is a genius on the sound, but also a wonderful musician, playing Andean music. His group is called Waita, W-A-Y-T-A. Gustavo Vargas has done sound for all sizes of auditoriums and venues and amazing artists. And he, when I told him about this, but also Gustavo was my organizer for my tenant organization, because my building is being put up for sale. So we have to exercise our TOPA rights, and Gustavo got us started with doing that. So Gustavo wears many hats. And he's bilingual, because he's from Bolivia. I think that's it. For my team.
Thank you. And
I think
thank
we have
Lucy for her wonderful.
And as we move to the next portion of the program, I think Parker has someone else that she'd like to
Yes,
acknowledge.
I want to acknowledge Evelyn Joe for all the efforts that she provided and support that was in the background. There's just probably too many people for us to acknowledge. Of course, we want to recognize all of the men who came out to the African and American Women's Association. So we thank you for your presence. Yes. All of them looking so good. Yes. And then, you ready to close? There are just many people that we could thank and we could acknowledge. But I would like to ask Sharon Farmer to come forward and Dorothy Davis. Sharon, you could get them. Yes, you could. Here she is.
You know, it's so funny, because when we came this afternoon, the ambassador was like, flowers. Do we need flowers? And I had to inform him that actually, I was brought up to date, I guess. It's like, flowers? Who needs flowers? So,
I need flowers all the time.
it's up to
thing over here on this side of the street, and I'm gonna tell everybody, there's some bad people over here that are so good about everything. Look at them.
All right.
All right. Actually, we didn't have flowers for the ambassador, but we have something very special for his wife, and I think we'll have a special audience with her so that we can give her her gift. She's already excited about it because she saw me with my head wrap, and I said, don't worry, we have an African dress for you, and you'll wrap your hair, and she was delighted. So I hope the next time we're with her, she'll have her wonderful dress, African dress.
And on behalf of all of us at AEWA, I have a small gift of appreciation to our president, Jackie Kakembo, so we want to yes, and we do have a lovely gift for each and every one of you. Thank you. And that is a combined gift. It's a family gift because through the gracious donations of the ambassador and the country of Nicaragua, that they contributed to our gift basket, and we in the AWA also shared some small little tokens with you, including some tea, special tea from Uganda, and a pen and little other tokens. So I hope you'll enjoy them. And yeah, okay. And we'd like to recognize, I believe, some people who are here from Angola. So, and could the people from the Cuba, could you please stand up, please? Yusuf is from Algeria, I believe, so we want to welcome him. And we have somebody from Nigeria, I believe. Wait. Stand up, yeah. And somebody in the back, that's great. That's really great. So, yes, it's just been a broad group of people. And we are just so appreciative that you've come to share this evening with us. It now gives me great pleasure to turn this meeting over because we have some wonderful food for you and celebration and more music. And so again, my appreciation to each and every one of you. Please take a moment to come get pictures with Sharon and with Dorothy, ask them questions, and with the ambassador as well to just thank him and share appreciation. Again, have a lovely evening. Oh, and Mr. Ambassador.
No. We are 3 people working at the embassy, okay? So, we wanted to share with your support some of the Nicaraguan food. So you have to, it will come very shortly. But anyway, we call it caballo bayo, okay? Caballo bayo is Nicaraguan buffet, okay? So you will have a taste of our food. You will have what we call gallo pinto, that is rice and beans. The Caribbean, we all have it, okay?
Whatever language.
In Cuba they call it con gris. Some other people call it moros, Christians and moros.
Yes, moros y cristianos.
Moros y cristianos. So we will have something of that. Then we will have chicharrones, okay, that is
Cracklings.
you will have, ¿cómo le dicen?
Cracklings.
Cracklings, okay. Then there will be plátanos verdes and, a fry, okay. Beef and chicken. Yes. Okay. So the caballo bayo thing is the following. So a rich man decided to invite some guests to his house, okay? But in our culture, if you said, come on over, people usually understand that you come over with all your friends. So when the party was starting, okay, he invited, he planned for 50, but 200 showed. So he didn't know what to do. So he said, let's take everything we have at the house and they put it together and they make the caballo bayo. Okay. Then we have two more things. Okay. There are some candies. Guayaba paste, like in Cuba. Okay. We have crocantes, that is something made out of peanuts and sugar all the time. And then there are two drinks. Okay. The first one is horchata. It's a light, probably you know it. Okay. But it's not made out of rice. Okay, this is another kind. Okay. And then we have this cocktail, the national cocktail of Nicaragua that is called, ¿cómo es que se llama?
You had too much of it.
I forgot. Macua. Sorry for that. But see, the thing is that it's a cocktail that is made out of guava juice, you have orange juice, lemon, sugar cane syrup, and Nicaraguan rum. Okay? So drink it in your own risk. But anyway, but also we have some red wine and white wine. Okay, so, and beer. Yeah, we have beers. Okay. No beer.
And we're gonna go back
Okay.
for the dancing.
So you are welcome to stay. Please give us some few minutes more for the food to be ready. It is coming up now in a few minutes. But please enjoy the night. Thank you for coming.
you know, my integration. bow our heads wherever you stand or wherever you're seated so that we can bless the food that we're about to receive. Now, Father God, we just come to you in this moment and at this hour, first to say thank you. Thank you for all the blessings that you have provided. Thank you for allowing us to have a wonderful, wonderful program for the African and American Women's Association. Father God, we lift up a special thank you to the Embassy of Nicaragua and the ambassador for opening up the embassy to all of us and for being so gracious and sharing hospitality in an extraordinary way. Now, Father God, we just ask you to bless the food that has been prepared and that is being provided for us to enjoy with one another. All these things we ask in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Oh my gosh. We should take a picture.
I did.
Take a picture.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Ain't you a lefty?
I know what plantain is.
Are you catching us while we're about to grunt down?
David, I know one is pork, one is beef. I think the other one down there is chicken.
It's the same. Some are the same.
That's a good one. Nice.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Chocolate?
All right.
She wants the vanilla. You want vanilla? Okay, one more time. This is vanilla cake? Yeah. Vanilla? Vanilla? Okay, chocolate? Chocolate?
Don't worry,
Can't
Number 3 of 15 brothers and sisters.
Really?
My mother's 98.
What you say?
Yes.
What you say?
To help me tell the story. She's a lovely woman. She come here, Washington, D.C. area.
What you say?
Raise her family.
And this number is?
She's number 14.
Number 4 out of 15.
Babies at home.
With mother. Well,
yeah. Gets her desserts. Get her pajamas on. Wraps her hair.
Actually spoiling.
That's right, she sure is.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I forgot your name.
Lucy.
Lucy.
Like you said,
right? Yeah.
You knew I was hungry for new love at the time you kept that in mind. Soon I was blind. I had to call you all the time, always asking if you mind. Baby, one never line, and then me. You let me what I'm falling. When you were tired, I asked for water from my soul. You just get along. Don't just leave me alone, I'm calling from time and sweet. When you know you're about to do a treat, oh, it's not what you had, it's what you came out from your past times. And if you didn't know what the past you did, how to get mad to help you understand it's right. Oh yeah, he tries to win the love, he tries to get the soul, he tries to say goodbye. Don't waste your time.
She walking to the left, twisted.